So you bought a car in a box, so to speak, or at least you unloaded all the pieces, parts of your car, and you're trying to figure out where the heck to begin. Well, that's what we're going to get here today. All this stuff you see in the driveway is going to end up there on that car you see in the garage. All right, so we're back here playing cars. It's going to rain here at some point today, so I'm going to try to get through this as quick and as effective as possible. But like I said here, you bought all these parts for your car. It's a rusted out heap. You guys saw the previous video. You know how bad it was. Or if you haven't, go back and check that out. I ordered all the parts, and surprisingly, they all came in very quick this time. Nothing on back order. But even looking at all that, sometimes the question is, where do you begin? Well, that's exactly what I've done. I've laid these things out in order on down the driveway, where you start at and where you finish at. We'll kind of run down these parts right quick, and that way you got an idea so you know where to go. And of course, on the channel here, we're going to be putting all of this sheet metal in the car and the garage right there, the old 68 Firebird. Now this kind of applies to Camaros and Firebirds, both 67, 8, or 9. Pretty much the same sequence of assembly, some differences, but not too much. I'll point out a few of those, but let's start here at the very front of the pile here. Now what you'll see here is the complete rocker panels. That is the main structure of our unibody. I start with the rocker panels because that's going to be square, the base, or the start or the foundation for everything. We're going to measure everything off of these. That's our frame essentially. I don't have a frame table or a frame rack, so this is how I'm going to do it. We're going to get the car body leveled up, and then we're going to exchange these two parts here. So we're basically going to start at the front of the car and work our way back to the back of the car. So again, start with the rocker panels. Get those in and secure. And then we'll go ahead then. These are the door jamb repair sections here. You see the door hinge left and the right. Then we're going to work on torque boxes. Going to replace the torque box or repair section depending on how much needs replaced. I don't want to replace the whole thing, but this car might be different, but I go ahead and buy them because they're actually not that expensive anymore. Now these are our toe board repair sections. There's a left and a right. Same thing. We'll splice in what is needed. Now that's going to take care of the firewall all the way up. In this case, we're going to do the dash somewhere in there. That's not as critical the sequence, but as for structure when you're putting a car together, but we did get a new dash panel for this car, so we'll be doing that here on the channel. And then once that is squared away, go ahead then install the main floor pan. Now this main floor pan, we're doing a convertible. There's some differences. On the bottom side, there's an H-shaped brace. I'm going to be salvaging it off of that car, so you don't see it out here. I'm going to remove it and re-weld it and put it into place. So that's one of the things on a convertible that's different. Then you can install your seat floor pans. Now we're going to screw everything together for the most part. We're going to put the floor pan in, but then these here pieces, these are convertible specific only. You got a left and a right. This goes clear up here in the front. It goes under the floorboard. In the sequence of events, our rocker panel is here, floor pan goes in, and then these will come in on this side here, and you stack all three layers together, then weld it together. But they kind of go in after the main floor pan is installed. And then also, if you buy an AMD floor pan, there's this brace right here. They don't come pre-welded in with the AMD brand. OER, they do have them installed, but a convertible would have this. Now you can put these in on your coupe and wouldn't hurt a thing. Like I said, the OER ones, they're already installed anyway, but again, lay these out in the order of events. So that's all squared away and done. Then what I normally do is I go ahead and assemble the frame rails to the trunk floor. Then the trunk floor with the frame rails then gets installed in the back of the car. Again, many measurements, test fitting, screwing it into place. This is more or less just a sequence of events of the sheet metal. If you want to see details on how it's put in, that's what we're going to do here. So don't forget to subscribe. Now, another cool feature here on convertibles, these are cocktail shaker mounts. Good luck finding a set like this. These are fantastic. Actually, they were made up from guy, as you can tell here, even labeled and left, made in Canada. These are specially made for this car. I don't think he's making them to sell, but he really hooked me up with these, and they're really nice shape. And even went as far as put the square shaped nuts on them. So I tell you what, couldn't be any happy with that. But anyway, we'll go ahead and put that on. Now this here gets sandwiched between the frame rail and the trunk floor. That's why it's kind of laid here in this order. You see the frame rail, trunk floor, and this gets sandwiched in between. Only convertibles though, if you're going to put the cocktail shakers back in. Now the other thing I've covered in the past, these frame rails, they are listed for 68 and 69, which is sort of right, except for 68. You got to remove this rear section here. You'll see that line. You basically just remove this here, that much length off it, then they'll work fine. Then you can install your left and right trunk drop-offs. And then you do your inner and outer wheel wells if they need done. In this case, they do. And once all that's done, again, I would recommend just screwing those into place. And then you can start test fitting your full quarter panels. Now, I haven't done full quarter convertible 68 panels yet. I've been told the trunk area here has some fitment issues, so we're going to see what we can do to get that really dialed in. And maybe the best you can do. And again, AMD doesn't show a listing for full quarters. These are actually OER brand. I've had some good luck with them in the past on other cars, so hopefully they follow suit. Then we have our trunk gutter. Again, I've not actually replaced these before, so I bought the whole kit, so I have them all. I'll be putting that in. Then we'll go ahead and put the inner tail panel in. And last but not least is our outer tail panel. And I checked it before I got shipped. It looks great, but I totally missed this. Look at this. I've never seen this. It got stamped wrong or something in the press, but it's okay. I got an idea for fixing that too. So I'll have to doctor that up. But I already signed for it, so it's mine to keep. But that's better angle. You can see something happened here in the stamping process. That's a manufacturing defect, not shipping. They did a pretty nice job shipping this stuff. And of course, it's windy as heck here in Indiana. It's getting ready to rain, like I said. Now, the other thing I didn't put outside were the doors. Now, be it the old doors you see against the wall or new ones, they're going to be part of your measuring device. Now, they're not welded on the car body, so I didn't put it out there, but they will be a very important step of the process to get this done without a frame table or a frame rack. Now, again, it doesn't mean we're not going to get this thing within an 1/8 inch side to side. It just takes a little more creativity or the method, and that's what we're going to share here as we continue to put this car back together. So for me, really kind of one of the next things I'll end up doing is mounting the doors. So I'm going to mount the new doors and see how they line up there to the quarter panel. The original doors lined up really nice and opened and shut really good. Even though this car is rusted as bad as it isn't starting to sag in the middle yet. That's why I haven't classified it as the worst car I put back together, but it's close. It has its issues, the dash and other things I didn't have to fight before. These cars all rust different every time. I can't explain it, but they all have some kind of rust problem, but just never the same pattern. The other thing I've actually discovered here as I pulled it apart, that is a 1970-something 400 engine, and I thought that was originally a turbo 350 trans. I just kind of did a quick glance when I poked my head under the car. That's still a 2-speed. And being the 2-speed, who leaves those in there? I didn't really think about it, but I went ahead and grabbed my drill and checked the other side. It's the actual original numbers matching transmission. Again, not a super ultra rare car, but I think it'd be pretty cool to go through that and put it right back in here. So that is going to be the transmission that should be residing in this car when it's done, unless we take it apart and find some kind of catastrophic failure. But I'm beginning to think, since the transmission was still in the car and the engine looked like this, we had some kind of engine issue, and all the bell housing bolts are taken out of it. So someone was working on taking, I think, the engine out of this car, and that's probably why it got parked. And of course, I've got all kinds of crazy stuff going on in the brake system. This was a factory disc brake car, and I tell you, we got some fun on this thing to figure out. It's missing the hold-off valve, doesn't have the right master cylinder, it's missing the bracket on the pedal. It has single piston caliper, so someone did a lot of strange part moving around, but we're going to get this straightened out and pretty close back to original. So there you have, there's your order of operation. Here's the car we're working on. All that's going to be slowly worked back into this car here. That's the whole process I'm going to share with you. So don't forget to subscribe and definitely share with your friends. This will be car number, I don't remember, 4 or 5 that I built here in the little tiny Vinyl Village garage, proving that it can be done in a small space without crazy tools or expense of buying stuff that you may only use one time. Now, a body jig would be fantastic, but if you're only building one car, it's kind of overkill. I'm not going to say someday that I won't actually acquire one, but right now, still having fun doing it this way. That's why I've been sharing with you that process. So nonetheless, appreciate you following me up to this point. Definitely get back out here. Hopefully, I got some other projects here at the house I'm doing, so the garage time's been a little limited, but I still get out here, drug all that stuff out there so you can see it, so you understand the process. And I'll keep doing some videos, and I hope to catch you all. Thanks.
They say there comes a time in everybody's life they have to prove their will is strong. Just like this man from Indiana.